All right, my name's Mookie. Welcome back to our studio. It's another SoCal Sound session. Please know that we are listener-supported public radio here in Los Angeles and Orange County. If you want to join us, please do at the SoCalSound.org. We are here with the band The Devil Makes Three. I got the new record Spirits right here. Again, this is probably for my own personal collection, I imagine. Okay, cool. I'm going to take this home. We're going to get into the music right off the bat and then more with the band in just a bit right here on the SoCal Sound. Congratulations on the new record. It's Pete and Cooper and Morgan Eve. We got The Devil Makes Three here in our studio.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Oh, you're very welcome. I spent a lot of time with the record, and it's just sounds so good.
So did we.
I know. I bet. Now it's like I said. It's been 7 years.
Yeah.
Is this something that's been in the works for 7 years, or was there a brief hiatus? You know, perhaps during the pandemic and stuff?
Yeah, we definitely had a not so brief hiatus, actually. We were off the road for 2 years, over 2 years. Mm-hmm. Some of the songs, are from back then. But a lot of them we wrote actually right before we went in the studio. Mm-hmm. So but it's been a long time coming, for sure. Yeah, it took a long time to get the record going.
Sure. And Morgan Eve is relatively new to the band, but you've known these guys for quite some time.
I have. I've known them for, I think, 14 years. 15 years? 14 years. 15.
15 sounds better.
Incredible. Fuzzy math. So thedevilmakes3.com is the website. You can get the merch, get the music. The tour dates are up on there. And as soon as you guys announced this West Coast run, I mean, tickets started flying. How have the shows been?
They've been great. Yeah, the whole tour on the West Coast is sold out. It's been really fun. Yeah, we've been, like we said, off the road for a long time. So it's also really nice to be playing new songs.
Right.
You know, like it's been a while, so we have a lot of new material in the set, which is just great. I mean, we haven't done that in a while, so it's nice.
How would you describe the approach to this record, not lyrically, but sort of sonically? Is it true to form as far as the Devil Makes Three sound?
Yeah, I'd say very much so, actually. We kind of took like a more traditional Devil Makes Three approach to the record. It's a lot more stripped down. It's a little more folky than our previous records. And it was just a lot of fun to make. Yeah, it was really fun to make.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
So it's been said that the band was formed in the early 2000s in Santa Cruz, but you know, Pete and Cooper, you guys have known each other way before that, is that right?
We met in the 7th grade.
Yeah.
Incredible. And started playing music together in the 7th grade?
No, we were bad at music then.
Yeah. But in high school,
we started in high school, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, in
Incredible.
High school. Mm-hmm.
So, band started in Santa Cruz, early 2000s. Mm-hmm. Can you sort of paint the picture for me? Like, what was the scene like in Santa Cruz at that time?
It was really great. It was. Yeah, it was a really good scene. When we first started playing, there was a lot of DIY shows happening, a lot of house shows happening, a lot of punk shows and indie shows happening. We kind of got our start playing houses and coffee shops, and the community was really supportive. The radio station there was really supportive.
The college station over there at the
college station,
Santa Cruz campus?
Yes, and K-Pig as well. Both of them were really supportive of us. They had us on the radio really early on, when really nobody knew who we were.
Right.
It was a great place to start a band. There was a lot of other bands playing. There were shows all the time. We were really close to San Francisco. It was a lucky break for us to start the band
there. Big folk scene, big punk scene.
Big punk scene.
Both.
Big punk scene when we were there. I don't know what it's like now. Punk and like sort of rockabilly scene in Santa Cruz was really strong at the time.
Right.
And in San Francisco as well. There was a lot of folk music as well, bluegrass, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Incredible. So my wife went to UC Santa Cruz, and the first bass player in the band, Lucia, she went there as well, and my wife and Lucia were roommates.
No way.
Yes, and so
Crazy.
a few years ago there was a conference in Boulder, Colorado, a radio conference, and I met Lucia after the show, and I said, "Hey, you might know Kate, my wife." And the one thing that she remembered about my wife is that she said that she really liked the band Korn. And I'm like, "I'm sorry, what did you just say?" And this is news to me, you know. So
Wow.
yeah, so now she remembers waking up in the morning to the alarm clock of Music of Corn.
Awesome.
And so my wife will not live it down to this day. And you think you know
Well,
somebody.
You know, you can tell
know.
your wife that Korn was actually my first big concert.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
let's just bring this full circle.
It's the unifying force.
It's the unifying force, the unifying force of Korn.
Well, I tried to start it off in a lighthearted way, if you will, but there's some heavy subject matter involved with this brand new record. I want to touch on some of that in just a little bit. But who came up with the concept of the album art?
We actually came up with it with the record label and designer who is a friend of our manager's. And also, I gotta say, my friend Craig, who's like does all our merchandise design. He does everything for us, so he did a lot with the layout as well.
Well, you don't have to elaborate on it if you don't want, but I imagine all the symbolism here definitely represents something.
It is the year of the snake, it turns out.
Oh, I see the snake.
Yeah, and there's the snake right there.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The new record was recorded, and I Googled the town. It looks really cool. Hurley, New York. Was that a conscious
yeah.
effort to kind of, be surrounded by vast beauty?
Well, we actually just kind of were drawn there by the studio itself, Dreamland. It just looked like a really cool location. But Hurley is right next to Woodstock, so it's kind of a nice place to make a record. There's a lot of musical history. There's a lot of great restaurants. It's like a nice little town. So Hurley was, in the middle of nowhere, basically, which was good. And we've kind of learned that that's the best way for us to make a record is to be isolated. Like we wouldn't make a record in LA where we have friends and, maybe like family or people that might come around, whatever that would be for me. But like, it's better for us to be isolated, away from people, not too much to do.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to get to town.
Yeah.
We just work better that way.
That makes sense. You hear about that a lot with bands relocating, for a period of time out to like the desert or, the
That was our
mountains
last
or
record, was
something
the
like
desert.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, really? And
It
where
was
was
outside
that
of
recorded?
El Paso, Texas.
Sonic Ranch, outside of El Paso.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Has the recording process gotten any easier throughout the years?
This
Sometimes
has been
it can
the
be
easiest
arduous.
record we ever made.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came together really, really nicely.
Yeah. It turns out if you keep playing, you get better.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, no kidding. You guys have been at it for quite some time.
Yeah.
Pete, you've said in a different previous publication, I believe, there's a theme of ghosts and death running through this album. It sounds like you've been through a lot personally, and it's all sort of reflected on this record,
Yeah.
You feel comfortable talking about some of the
Yeah,
stuff, some
definitely.
of the loss.
Yeah, it was a hard bunch of years between this record for sure, and I actually lost my mom, my brother, and my childhood best friend during that time period. My mother was terminally ill, so that was a little bit more expected, but the other two were completely unexpected, and it was really, really difficult. And yeah, making the record is just sort of a way to deal with that, or try and transform it into something that makes sense.
Right.
And, it really helped, to be honest. It was really great to make the record. It made me feel better, and I think in a way too, it's kind of like a tribute to them, But it's a reoccurring theme on all of our records. It's just this time it's way more personal.
You've also said that this band is, has in the past traditionally has been all about celebrating resilience.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely. I think in music, a big influence for me personally is blues music. And I think that's what I like about that, is that, the subject matter is usually really depressing a lot of the time, but somehow it makes you feel better when you listen to it. As opposed to listening to it and feeling worse, you listen to it and you feel better, and always try and incorporate that.
Right. That's sort of what I got from consuming the record, if you will, is you read about the loss in your life and the heavy subject matter again, but again, sonically, when you're hearing the music, it's, it wasn't what I was expecting. It's a fabulous album. I'm sure you're very proud of it, and the fans are really into it as well. You're telling me there's a bunch of sold out dates. It's really great.
It is. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're really happy with it.
So I want to encourage people to check out Pete's solo stuff, certainly the band Brown Bird, to do the deep dive on the Morgan Eve
Thank
music.
you.
Right,
Appreciate
and
that.
the Magnolia Sessions, you recorded that literally under a magnolia tree.
I did, yes. It was a legit field recording
Actual field.
Actual field.
Right, right. Well, you're all great accomplished musicians in your own right, and we love hearing the music of The Devil Makes Three. Once again, I mean, people have been thirsty for this music, and now we got a new record, which is very exciting. I was thinking about describing your music, and we always point to artists that we know, already. I was thinking about, like, this kind of sounds like Joe Strummer doing bluegrass.
Wow, I like that.
I like that one.
Do
Yeah.
you?
Well, we're fans.
Or I'm sure you are. You got a punk rock sensibility, if you will. Also, I was thinking about a kind of a melding together the music of Joe Strummer, Willie Nelson, and Reverend Horton Heat.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
And with that, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. We're gonna leave with one more song, another great version of a track here in our studio. The Devil Makes Three. The record is Spirits. Definitely a band worth being on your radar. You guys are amazing. It's really great to meet you, and we hope to do it again one day soon.
Awesome.
much for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Got it.